Today on Live Daily News, San Angelo held a Trump rally over the weekend, road work is set to reduce traffic on a busy street, and an indictment came down for the man involved in the fatal crash in Grape Creek over this past Mother's Day weekend. I'm James Bouligny, and this is Live. We'll get to the news in a minute, but first, Wednesday evening is for business networking in San Angelo. The crew from ERA Newland & Company, San Angelo Live, and the ArcLight Bar and Grill invite you to an early evening of business networking. Ryan Newland of ERA Newland has the free drink tickets, and everyone who owns a San Angelo business or runs one is invited, as well as sales guys, or if you just like to network with the movers and shakers of the Concho Valley, stop by the ArcLight Bar and Grill inside the Clarion Hotel at 441 Rio Concho Drive on Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. Business networking done right at the ArcLight Bar and Grill. Up first, this past Saturday, a Trump rally ran through town from the Best Buy parking lot on Sherwood Way and went all the way out to the Angelo Civic Theater at 3636 North Bryant. About 25 vehicles adorned with American flags, military flags, and Trump flags all met up at Best Buy around 9 o'clock in the morning and departed at 10 o'clock. Former President Donald Trump is on the ballot in next month's election as he is running against current Vice President Kamala Harris. Recent polls show Trump gaining on Harris and potentially leading in several key swing states. Early voting starts on October 21st and runs through October 1st, with the 5th being the last day to vote. Sticking to San Angelo, traffic on Glenna Street has been reduced from 4 lanes down to 2 lanes starting today as part of the Glenna Utility Improvement Project. The reduction in traffic starts today and runs from Glenna and Woodlawn Drive to the Glenna-Webster intersection. Also, the 3200 block of Woodlawn Drive will be closed, and that does include through traffic. Businesses in that area will remain open, and we expect the lane reduction to last until at least late October. Have you downloaded the San Angelo Live mobile app yet? It's free and it's the best app in the business. Download it off the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store to stay up to date with news in San Angelo. And a San Angelo man has been indicted for involuntary manslaughter with a vehicle and manslaughter for allegedly being drunk and causing a fatal crash at the intersection of US 87 North and Grape Creek Road that claimed the life of Cairo De La Torre. According to the indictment, 23-year-old Juan Vargas was operating an all-terrain vehicle and crashed head-on with another vehicle on a public roadway over Mother's Day weekend on May 12th at around 3 in the morning. Vargas was arrested and released later that day. Vargas is due in court on November 6th. Into weather, incredible football weather approaches this week. Right now it's 84 degrees outside with a high of 88 and a low tonight of 56. Tomorrow it will be sunny outside with a high of 93 and then a low of 53. Then a cold front blows through and brings us a high of 70 on Wednesday, and then Wednesday night the low is down around 49. On Thursday the high bumps up to about 80 and the low looks right now to be around 58. For the weekend we could see some storms, has about a 20 to 30% chance with highs in the upper 70s. When we come back, Paul Harris, who continues to care about the Concho Valley student athletes, went to Central and spoke with head coach Mark Smith about their upcoming matchup with Odessa Permian. And then we had 3 referees and umpires come in on Friday to talk about the ref shortage in San Angelo and just Texas in general. But first, a word from the Bass Bunch.
$59,999 for a new Ford Expedition XLT. Get a full-size 3-row seating SUV for the family that needs a lot of room. Equipped with a moonroof, second-row captain seats, along with many more features, make it the absolute perfect SUV. You can only get deals like this at Jim Bass Ford, Houston Hart and Hardin Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com, or use this QR code. Yep, the one on my shirt.
All right, Coach, if you could just give us your overall thoughts regarding the game against Midland Legacy.
Well, just really proud of the way that our guys kind of finished the game and just kept fighting, kept attacking. This team has shown a lot of resiliency over the course of the season, never out of it, never down, just continues to fight and come back and keep playing. And I'm really proud of them. It takes a great deal of discipline and just the right mental disposition to be able to, to be down and to come back and to keep playing one play at a time. And then we found ourselves again at the end of the game, a 6-point game with a chance to go win. And, we're just 1 or 2 plays away, from getting over that hump. And I was, encouraged by, our team and the fight with this team. I mean, we played a team, I think they've won maybe 6 straight district championships in this league. A couple of things happen, one way or another, and we win the game by 2 touchdowns. But, that's what I focused on with the team today is just, man, there's some little things here and there that if we just clean those things up, they make a big difference in the outcome of games. And you never know when that moment is during the game. And, and we were presented with several of those. We made some of the plays, didn't make some of them, but those are plays that just championship teams you make in those moments. So that was kind of my word to them, but really encouraged. We spent a lot of time just talking about all the things that we did really well in that game this morning to build on the confidence that creates, and then, hopefully we piggyback that and we clean some things up and have a great week this week.
Yeah, Coach, you kind of mentioned there that you had some opportunities there to win the game in a 6-point game. Obviously, the 3 penalties that everyone was kind of highlighting. After having, the weekend to kind of digest it, look at the film, kind of what are your thoughts on that situation?
Yeah, I still feel, like I felt, Friday night, and but it doesn't change the outcome of the game. And, my focus with the team has been, man, where can we find some areas where we could have made a difference, and so there were plenty of those, and there were, obviously some things that worked against us in the game, but we had plenty of opportunities within the game to win it as well. So, with that being said, that's where my focus was with the team today and this morning is that, and even on Saturday when we came back the next day, is that, here's the areas that we can control, and that's what we need to focus on, those areas, and we got to clean those things up.
The fact that y'all played them and had a chance to win, you played them so close, does that give you confidence with Permian undefeated coming in here that y'all can play with them?
It really does, and I'm encouraged every time our team goes out and plays. Are we always playing, at our very best? No, but that's the game. Other people have good players too, and they're going to kind of put you in some situations where it's challenging for you. But I've always been encouraged with this team, and it just puts a smile on my face. I know that this team is going to go out and fight. They're going to give their best. There's not going to be a game that we're not in, and I think we got a really good team. This team is capable of winning every game that's left on our schedule, or it could not go our way. But I think that's the beauty of playing and coaching is that you just want that opportunity every week, and this team has just showed that resiliency and that fight and that just never quit and never give up. We just need to clean up some things that we have within this building, and then we'll go see the results we want on Friday night.
Yeah, Coach, like you said, it was sort of a tale of 2 halves. That first half, I'm sure there was a little bit of rust coming off of the open week, and then that second half, you guys really turn it on. What is it going to take, do you think, for this team to just do a full, 4 quarters?
Well, I'd seen it the previous 2 weeks. I really felt like we played 4 quarters in both of those games, really good, consistent football. I think that it's just coming out with a mentality that, man, I've got to start right now, with this, and not that we don't always, but. And it takes every single person, especially when you're on the road and you're in a different environment, things are a little bit different, your routine has gotten a little bit off, just the mental discipline that it takes to kind of work through those moments when you're a young player, and to have your hot button already pushed by the time that the game starts. So, that's something that we really do need to focus on and make sure that we have that from everybody within the team. And then, they take the opening kick and they drive down, they convert a couple of 3rd downs in the drive and then end up getting in the end zone. And then we don't have a great start on offense either. And then, now you're in a deficit. But, the one thing that's just always been encouraging is this team doesn't worry about, those deficits. They just keep playing one play at a time, keep chopping wood, and then, you just right back in the game, So I was really proud of them for that. But we need to focus on starting faster.
How do you feel that the matchup? How do you feel about the way y'all match up with Odessa Permian?
I like it. I think that there's not this league is good top to bottom. It's a really good league. Every week you're going to play a team that's really challenging, in a lot of ways. And I'm certain that they feel probably the same way about us. That this is a challenging team that they're getting ready to play. So I think that's the beauty. A lot of parity within the teams within this league, but there's not a great deal of difference between the top and the bottom. You're seeing games, 1-score games across the board. So. I love that about this, and I like it that they're undefeated coming in here. It's going to be a great environment right here in this stadium. It's a big game for people in this community, big game for people in that community. So, and it's the most important game on our schedule because it's the next one. So I'm confident that we'll play our best football Friday night. We had a great practice this morning. Excited about the week as it unfolds, and then to see what they do on Friday.
What's your primary focus going into this Friday's game?
Just to, to keep our confidence where it needs to be. You know, I think confidence is a big thing in young people. And if you've got a group of guys, and we built on the things that we did really well on Friday night, and that was my emphasis this morning. I put together a cut-up of things we did really well on both sides of the ball, showed it to them, and then told them why. You know, why was this play successful? And here's some of the things that it may not be the guy that made the catch or the person that made the run or the guy that caught the interception, but I wanted to bring up all the other things around that and then point out that, man, it takes everybody doing their job all the time, and that creates a level of confidence. And when you're out there and confident in what you're doing, you know, you're just freed up to play that much more at your best. So, you know, I think that's going to be my emphasis. It was that way this morning and all the way through kickoff on Friday night. Just keep that confidence level high, and let's continue to build on that.
Yeah, Squeaky really had a great game.
He did.
Last week, and
Yeah.
you know, it feels like whenever, you know, you guys were in a situation, in non-advantageous situation, he was able to just kind of run and escape. What is it like to have a guy like that who can really throw you out of situations or run you out of a situation?
Well, I know it's really good. You know, I think with quarterbacks, there's three things that you really look for in that. It's, you know, decision making, accuracy, and athleticism. And then when you got a guy that has two of those three qualities, you've got a really good quarterback. And if you have somebody that has all three, you've got an elite level quarterback. And I think Christian has, you know, shown that he's got all three of those. And, you know, certainly, you know, when we got our backs against the wall, and maybe in terms of down and distance, and he drops back there and they cover him up, he takes off. You know, he can create big plays, and he's done that this entire season. And well, that certainly creates an element of challenge for a defense against him. Then you put an extra guy in there to spy on him. Now it frees open some things behind there to throw the ball. And it also makes people wonder, do I pressure this guy? And then I force him out of the pocket. Now he's more dangerous out there. So his ability to escape and his ability to run, you know, and even this past week we did more design runs for him, not just scrambles, but design runs for the quarterback. He's got a tremendous ability with that. It just makes him more dangerous in every area. And he's taking care of the football really well. I'm really proud of him with that. That's a big point of emphasis for us all the time, is to make sure that we take care of it on offense. We work to get it back, you know, on defense. So he provides that kind of three-headed monster there that is a really dangerous player, and he's been great for us this season.
Yeah, you know, it's your first home district game as the coach of Central. I mean, kind of what are your feelings right now?
You know, it's the next game on the schedule for me, and I'm not saying that just to be, you know, cliche. I really hadn't thought about it like that. It really just is the next game. I love playing at home. I love playing in front of our crowd here. We've had great crowd support the entire season, and I expect it to be that way again this Friday night. This place and this town is hungry for a winner, and I think the last two nights we've been in here, we've won, and that's great, you know, and we'll try to make that a three-peat in here this week. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate y'all. Everybody going to be here?
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the Giants and who will never, ever flinch.
What's going on, everybody? James Bouligny here with Craig, Ricky, and Will. They are officials from the San Angelo chapter here. What's it called again?
We are the San Angelo Umpires Association.
Okay, Umpire Association.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
First off, how are we doing today?
We're doing great.
Doing good.
Doing well.
All right, and we wanted to talk about getting some umpires out there on the baseball fields for these kids, baseball, softball fields, right?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into it.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm Craig Coles. I'm the assigning secretary, and I'm also the District 2 representative for our TASO for baseball. I've been umpiring for about 15 years. I do both baseball and volleyball. I did 10 years of basketball.
All right.
I'm Ricky Salvato. I'm the chapter president for the SAUA. I'm, I guess, 9 years, almost 10 years in baseball.
Okay.
And 4 years in volleyball right now.
All right. Will.
I'm Will Doyle. I call baseball with these guys. I'm the vice president of the local board, and I also call football. So excited for Friday night tonight. So
there is a ref shortage going on, right? And we need refs for every sport across the board. How do people get involved?
Well, the first thing that they need to do is, one, have a passion for it. Like with any job, you have to have some kind of passion for that sport. And so if you have any kind of passion for any sport, and it doesn't matter what age group, from Little League all the way up to the collegiate level, we are needing officials in every sport across the state. If they reach out to taso.org, which is TASO.org, that is the high school chapters, they can apply to become an official, and then they can actually put which sport and which area that they want to cover. And so if it's somebody outside of our area, in the Abilene area, Lubbock area, they can do that also.
Okay.
That's the easiest way. If it's something local that where you maybe not able to do high school, but you want to do Little League or the local soccer, we can have our information here in a minute. We have our email address, and we can put them in the right contact. But, like I said, today we really want to talk about umpires and baseball. Right. But we will be happy to help anybody to get into this business that we absolutely love.
Yeah. All right. Sticking to baseball, though, what do people need to do? I mean, is there an age restriction? Is there, like you said, y'all have other full-time jobs and do this, right?
Sure.
So,
yes. So I actually work here at a church in town. And so as far as age goes, there's no age limit as far as how old you can be.
Right.
However, there is a limit for how young you can be. We actually had one for the first time in our chapter. It's called an auxiliary member. And basically it's someone who is under the age of 18, so 16 to 18, who can come on to the baseball field and umpire JV games only.
Okay.
And so we still get them in, and those officials we really encourage to get involved in Little League and stuff like that so that they can get more games, because if they're just doing JV, they're not going to get as many. But yeah, and then just to piggyback off of what Craig said earlier, we actually have a website, sanangeloumpires.com. There's a tab on there that says Become an Official, and there's an interest form that you can fill out. And we really want baseball people, but if you're trying to figure out, hey, how do I get involved in water polo or something, you can fill that out, and I see those, and I can point you in the right direction. So.
All right, and it's for officials across the board, there's a shortage right now.
Correct.
And you said the games have actually gotten canceled because we don't have enough officials.
Yes, sir.
So what are some of the perks to the job?
Some of the perks of the job. One, I love baseball. I absolutely love baseball. I love volleyball. Those are my two passion sports. So I'm able to be around it. Of course, I'm pushing 50, so I can't play it anymore,
right,
which is obvious. But I can get out there and still be around the kids. It's still a lot of fun. I love being around the game. I love being around the kids. I love being around the coaches. We get to talk to the coaches, get to talk to the kids, be out there, be around the game, and officiate. But also, one of the big things also is it's a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood and sisterhood.
I heard y'all talking to each other.
Yeah, I mean, we will. I've always said, with friends like this, I'll never need an enemy ever again. So that's the way, it's the way it is. But we absolutely, all of us can attest that we love this. We love doing it. We do it all the year round. Matter of fact, December is about the only month I'm not officiating some sport. We've had guys as young as 13 start out in the Little League, made their way up to 16, but he became a official, and he actually, that particular umpire is now going to be a collegiate umpire coming up this next season. So he's made his way all the way up from a 13-year-old Little League kid all the way up, and he's now going to be umpiring college baseball games next year. And so that's when, it's the fun of it. It's being around the game, being around the sport, and also having fun, and also challenging yourself. It's a challenging sport. It's a challenge to all of them. To get into the rule book, understand what the rule book means, understand the different positions, and why am I in this position? Why do I stand here? Why, you look at the professionals, and why do they stand where they stand? There's reasons, and to understand that and get around it is the fun part.
Right. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of money that comes with it too, right? And there are games being played, like you said, Sunday through Saturday.
Absolutely.
Games all week long. So go make a little bit of cash while you're doing it, while you're doing something that you love doing, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. You can make, depending on what your schedule is, you're an independent contractor. You can sit there, and if you get off work at 3 o'clock and you're able to leave at 3, we can put you on a field by 4, 4:30, 5 o'clock, depending on how far you have to travel. Most of our games in our chapter are around the 90-mile or under range. So we get people out where they can call. If you have a day that you don't want to work for whatever it may be, then you can block that date off. And that way you're not going to miss a kid's birthday, wife's birthday, which is what I had last week. I missed a volleyball match because it was my wife's birthday. But that's the important thing too. So you're an independent contractor. And so depending on how much you can be out there, you can make anywhere from, $500 up to, $3,000 a month of just extra income coming in and doing this and doing any of these sports. And all sports are the same when it comes to that, about making a little bit of extra money.
Right. We kind of compared it to Uber. You can kind of turn that off.
Mm-hmm.
You can turn it back on and go out and
absolutely
help out.
Absolutely.
Now I can already hear people saying, I don't want to do this. The kids' attitudes are terrible. And we kind of discussed that some of that's social media driven.
Right.
But they have putting something in to help implement to try to make it better. They put the 3-strike policy in,
right.
And it goes across all sports. And kind of talk about what that is real fast.
You want to take it, Will?
Yeah, so the 3-strike policy implemented by TASO says that across all sports within a school district, if there are 3 incidences that occur for one player or coach, that TASO, the Texas Association of Sports Officials, reserves the right to refuse officials at the sporting events in the future for that entire district. So whether it's a volleyball, basketball, baseball, track, whatever the sport may be, the entire school district is affected by the individuals on those each individual team. And so we've seen, I guess, a good way to say it is a thought process of integrity across the board, especially by coaches. As far as back in the day, I know a lot of people remember growing up that their coaches would just yell at officials or yell at them. We've seen that kind of relax a little bit, knowing that they've got to compose themselves and keep themselves accountable for their actions. But we as officials also want to encourage that type of behavior, so we have to model that as well. So we also do a program called the Texas Way as officials to hold ourselves accountable, to be respectful, to act with integrity, and to keep ourselves above reproach as well. So we've noticed a decline in, I guess, what people would call bad attitudes or bad actions. We still have those outliers where social media is going to highlight the big ones, right? But all in all, across the board, that doesn't happen that often anymore. We've seen a great stride forward with treating everybody with respect.
Right, and this is mainly just in the San Angelo area, the Concho Valley, right, where you've seen this all improve.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll give you just an example. The other day, I went to a volleyball match that I wasn't officiating. I went to help a friend who was working with the new official, and I sent her a message on my phone. Because the newer official was having a little bit of trouble. I mean, he did fine, but he just needed a little help. It was his first game. And so I sent her a message asking her if she needed me to come help her. And she turns around and she says, yeah. So I get down from the stands and I go up. She's the official who's on the stand. We call the R1. And I said, hey, what do you need me to help him with? And she's just like, everything right now. And so I mean, a brief, like less than 10 seconds exchange. And I start walking to go around the court, and when I do, I nearly run into the admin at Brady, and he's like, "Can I help you, sir?" Very stern, and the campus officer is just staring at me from across the way, and I said, "Hey, I'm an official. I came with her. I'm just here to help." And he's like, "Oh man, I thought I was gonna have to throw somebody out today." And
right,
and used to we wouldn't see admin that quick to do something to interact with somebody that's contacting an official, but he was, quick, and we appreciate that. So.
Right. I mean, shoot, even as media, I've seen that where I've walked up and you're like, hey, what are you? Oh, I'm with San Angelo Live,
yeah.
And like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I've talked to all these coaches too on the phone, so they know my voice. They just haven't maybe seen me yet.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. Well, and one thing I do want to mention, these are all instances we're and you're going to see those incidences.
Right.
You're going to see them on every sport. You're going to have those bad incidences, but we had, as a San Angelo Umpire Association, we had close to 380 games, I think, last year, around that number, and we had less than 15 ejections. And most of those ejections, in all honesty, were not even arguing. It was because a kid ran through a kid or, something like that. There were very few that were actual. So the number of incidences compared to how many are out there are very few. But, one thing that we do as a chapter and all the other chapters do is that we do training. A lot of this comes from, if you're a better umpire, If you're a better volleyball official, better football official, you know the rules better. You understand. Like you said a while ago, if that football official had been standing in a better position,
Right.
he may have seen a better thing. So we do a lot of training throughout the state. Actually, the Tasso baseball board, we are now implementing where we're doing 16 two-man clinics throughout the state, and we're actually hosting one here in San Angelo. Another one's being hosted in Odessa, of where we can go bring guys from all over the state and teach them. And we have former major league umpires, college umpires that do Division I big games, that they're there teaching us.
Okay.
And so the more the training we get, and also in that part of that training, we actually do training on how to deal with when that coach is mad. The coaches are going to get mad. The kids are going to get mad. The fans. But how do we handle it? How do we de-escalate that to where we can communicate with it, communicate with the players, communicate with the coaches? And a lot of that comes down to us and just saying, hey, coach, this is the rule. Remember, this is how the rule is worded. We may not agree with the rule, but this is the way it is. So the more that we do the training, the better it is. But in all honesty, you're going to see those on social media. You're going to see that the football official down in the valley that got hit, and you're going to see those.
Bring that one up.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a horrible, horrible experience for all the way across the board and everybody. Right. But the good part about that is there's more training that came from that. I mean, we've watched those videos. We've watched the videos of the Angel Hernandez. That's what everybody always compares us to. Oh, you're the Angel Hernandez of San Angelo umpires. We've heard, every single one of us have heard it. But in all honesty, that 99% of his calls were correct. And when you go back and look at it, now, did he blow some? Absolutely. Have I blown some? Absolutely. Right. We all have. But we get better at it. We learn from it. We learn, and that way we're better at it. We're in better positioning. And that's what we want. We want more guys to come out, more ladies to come out to umpire with us, to get better at it, to where we're out there in those games and we're helping these kids play a good competitive game. They're fun. It's relaxing to us. This is actually, I always tell people, I always joke, this is my relaxed time. This is how I relax, is to go on to a field.
Right.
Or go into a volleyball court. That's how I relax and enjoy my life, and or one of the ways. But to do that, to come out there, I don't want anybody to sit there and say, well, I don't want to do any kind of officiating because I don't want to get yelled at. Yeah, you're going to get yelled at. You're going to have some things said to you. But but the overall majority of it, I filled out more good sportsmanship award last year than I filled out incident reports last year.
All right. So one more time before we wrap things up, how do people get in contact with y'all? How do they get a hold of y'all's organizations to, hey, sign up?
So the best way to get a hold of us as San Angelo Umpires Association is to go to our website, sanangeloumpires.com, and fill out that interest form under the Become an Official or Umpire tab. We also have an email account, saumpires@gmail.com. We pretty much the entire board sees those, so we can communicate through that way. And we're always going to encourage you to go on to tasso.org and become an official through them, because before you can even call with us, you have to be a Tasso official. And right. so yeah, that would kind of be, I mean, if you want to come call baseball, which we do, we need more guys, and I really would love to see more girls come over to the baseball side of things. It's happening in the major leagues right now. Mm-hmm. It needs to happen at the high school level. All right. You don't just have to do softball. But yeah, so we would love for people to come out, check us out, and like Craig said, we're going to train you. We're not just going to throw you on a field and say, hey, have fun. We're going to train you, and we're going to give you the tools needed to make you the best umpire or official we can.
All right. Well, guys, did I miss anything? Did y'all want to say anything else before we?
I want to encourage everybody, because we've all yelled at officials, including those of us standing up here before, and let that not be a deterrent to becoming an official. That's right. And so once you see it from a different perspective, there's a little bit more respect gained and appreciation, I think, as well. I even watch games differently now after having become an official, and understand that things happen in the flow of the game and things like that. And so I want to, again, encourage people. Just because we've yelled at an official at some point in our life doesn't mean we can't become one now.
That's right. All right. Well, guys, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right. Back to you guys.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Cano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Concho's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Concho stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Concho's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thanks for watching the Live Daily News Show, the only locally owned news show in the Concho Valley. Go like us on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms, and download the San Angelo Live mobile app to stay up to date with news from in and around the Concho Valley. Thanks again, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.